All right, Anthony. So what's the topic of the day?
Well, let's talk about cluster objects.
Okay.
So within any service group or any application you need to control is a set of services. So the highest level object is called a service group, an SG.
This is in VCS, right?
Within VCS, thank
Right.
you.
Yeah.
Within this service group, it's just a collection of services. And those services are as low level as the NIC for the network interface card, and above it, a virtual IP address. As well as on the storage side, we're going to go with the disk group, the volume, and ultimately the mount point. You have your file system with your shared storage or shared data. All of these connect in to your application. Whether that app is DB2, Sybase, or WebSphere, MQ series. I mean, this is ultimately, the service group is containing everything you need to make sure that that application is online.
So this is every single resource that the app needs.
Correct.
Okay.
And if the app needs multiple mount points, you may have multiple disk groups or just multiple mounts coming off of it. This tree lends itself to the start and stop order. So you start from the bottom and you move your way up, starting each resource in turn all the way up until you get to the bottom, or to the top where you have your application is last to come online. On the way down, you start from the top down. You bring the application offline before you unmount the mount point. Just makes sense. So with each one of these resources, you have a way to manage that resource. So when you're looking at the NIC or the IP address, you have a series of scripts that control it. They're called agents. Agents are individual control for a specific resource type.
So you have one agent per resource type.
Exactly.
Okay.
So with the IP address, there are certain components that you need, certain attributes, like the IP will need the IP address, it'll need the net mask, it'll need the network interface card that you're going to be using to ensure that you're on the right network segment. All of those are components attached to the IP resource because it's an individual instance of an agent. Because we have the ability to have more than one of that same resource type, for example, the mount. You have a file system /data 1 and another file system /data 2. They're the same agent, but they're different instances. They're different resources. All the agent is a series of scripts: online, offline, monitor, and clean. These are different scripts that go through to validate different components. So in the online script is going through. Offline, it's running this script. And monitor is if you have to do things, your poll-based monitor where you're going to validate if the app instance is online or that resource specifically.
Okay, and then you mentioned another one called clean.
Yes, clean.
And what does clean do?
Clean, it takes action when things don't work correctly. You initiate the online, but it didn't bring the resource online. You initiate the offline, but it didn't take the resource offline.
Oh,
okay. It cleans up after that to ensure that you can start it again, or at least attempt to.
Okay. So we have an agent for every single resource, but is there also an agent just for the application?
Each application is different. There is an agent type for your SQL, your mounts, or your WebSphere, the different application agents. But there's also a generic one that would allow you to plug in your own scripts. So if you have an agent for an application that we don't have an agent for, you could just use the generic application agent and run through that.
Okay. And so all these agents come with the product or when the customer buys the product, right?
In essence, we either ship it with the product or you can download agents separately and install them. But they're all included, or at least they're all free with the product.
Okay. So this gives us a really good idea as to what makes up a service group, the importance of it in terms of how it fits with VCS, and all of the different things that an agent can and cannot do. Thanks a lot. We appreciate it, Anthony.
Thank you.